This is Morgan Hazelwood, back again with more writing tips and writerly musings.
Today, I'm back with the key to Morgan's writing progress confirmed. So right now it's April, and that means time for Camp Nano. For those of you who don't know or are unfamiliar, NaNoWriMo, or National Novel Writing Month, it happens annually in November, where writers from around the globe pledge to write 50,000 words or about 200 pages in 30 days. Camp Nano happens in April and probably for the teachers, at least in the States, July. And in Camp Nano, you set your own goals. Now, while I've been pretty successful with NaNoWriMo, I have failed far more camps than I've won. Then a little over a week and a half into NaNoWriMo in November, I had a thought. I had a suspicion. Maybe I've been losing Camp Nano because I set the bar too low? I shared this thought, but it's just a theory. While all writers work differently, how we work best can change, depending on the year and external obligations. I have been pretty consistent with calling myself out as what I like to call momentum driven. If I hit my goal enough days in a row, I am competitive enough with myself to not want to break my streak. See the fact I am a blogger and a vlogger and a podcaster. So I began this year setting out to edit 20,000 words a month of my space fantasy since January, and I ended March with 16,500 words edited total for the year. 1660, I think there's a slight deficit there. So going into April, I was really frustrated with my progress. And so I'm like, I got to get through this. I set my goal for April to be 40,000 words edited, not written, just edited. And I am actively confirming my theory. My monthly goal needs to require daily progress. Now, I know from past experience what my max is. NaNoWriMo was doable, but not sustainable for me to do more than just work and write. And I have other things in my life. So I don't want to set my goal too high. But if I set my goal too low, I coast too much. Once I start making excuses, it's rare for me to stop making excuses. So that doesn't mean I try to set my goal too high, and I do need to have light months in between to avoid burnout. In fact, I suspect the reason that January and probably even February failed was because of a combination of setting my goals too low so I couldn't get any momentum, and burnout from recovering from NaNoWriMo and a pile of family obligations and holiday recovery. March started to see some improvement. Thus, when I hit April, I started Camp Nano 2 days late, but I managed to make up the deficit and keep going. Last week, I upped my goal, because you can modify it during the month, to hit 50,000 words this month, because I was already over 30,000 words into the done. So I'm currently on track to hit 50,000. Now, that doesn't mean I'm going to be done editing my space fantasy. A 200-page story is a bit short for publishers these days, and science fiction and fantasy novels especially. Because of the requisite world building, they're usually about 80 to 120,000 words. So like 350 pages to like pushing 500. But at the end of the month, I will be 200-ish pages closer to cleaning up my rough draft and getting it ready for alpha and beta readers to take their first look.
And that's all for today. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, hit that subscribe button and share it with all your friends. It goes a long way towards helping people find me. And I'll be back again next Monday with more writing tips and writerly musings. Bye-bye.